this. All right, guys, we're back with another film session interview. Today we are joined by Colts running back Nyheim Hines, going into his third year now. So 2 years out of NC State here. And before we kind of jump to the film stuff, though, I mean, you sat down with reporters the other day. You were talking a lot about kind of what this week has been for you guys with the Colts. It hasn't really been much football. It's been a lot of talking about the off the field stuff. You guys kind of talking through some things with everything that's going on in the world right now. Just how has this whole week been with, the coaches, the other players? How has this whole kind of week been for you guys?
It's been really an enlightening week. I've never really talked about really anything but football at football, so it's been really remarkable to say the least. Go in to work every day and log in the Zoom calls. We're talking about what's going on in the world, and goes a lot just to say a lot about our ownership. Coach Frank Reich, Mr. Irsay, and Chris Ballard. For them to even give us time to even talk about that, have the floor open, and just have all the 120 participants, probably more than half of them spoke. It's really great, and that's when you know a real change is coming. I think changes will only come if you talk about it, and even with the looting and rioting or the military, that's not going to solve anything. All it's doing is imposing fear on people. The only way you're really going to get any better with anything going on with this world is really talk about it and see both sides and try to understand both sides of the story. So I think really it's just been a great time, and it's been a great time just talking about it and just hearing everybody's story and hearing how everybody's came up.
Yeah, absolutely. We've seen a lot with this Colts locker room. We've always heard that they prioritize, leaders and guys who are great off the field and on the field and all that kind of stuff. And you guys have really been building something these last couple of years, especially since Chris Ballard and Frank Reich came in. How much have you really felt that kind of unity that you guys have had, these last couple of years, this whole week here?
Absolutely. I always say that I enjoy being a Colt. Hope I could be a Colt forever, but it's something about being in that locker room and being around those guys. I really do enjoy playing there. And even every team I've been on, we've preached family and stuff. I feel like this is the most tight-knit team I've been on and been around, just starting from, top to bottom, being there for 3 years now. You've seen the knuckleheads kind of be moved up, not the guys we're looking for. And I think Coach Reich and Mr. Irsay and Chris Ballard are all doing a great job at that. So I'm excited to still be around, and hopefully I can keep staying around.
Yeah, for sure, man. Hopefully for the long haul, for sure. But with everything kind of going on right now, hopefully it leads to some serious change in this country. We definitely can all agree on that. And I don't want to talk about that the whole time on here, but that's just definitely something we brought up right now with everything that's going on. But getting to football, you and I kind of talked for a second before I started recording. You guys have a new quarterback this year. Phillip Rivers coming in from the Chargers, and this is a guy who has had a lot of success in his career, but especially with running backs like you. Austin Eckler last year, Danny Woodhead, Darren Sproles. I mean, just a lot of guys who kind of fit that kind of mold that you have played for the Colts the last couple of years. How excited were you when you saw that Phillip Rivers was coming to this team and kind of what it could do for your career?
I'm excited. It's definitely a new opportunity. I think this opportunity, benefits me greatly. But, it doesn't really matter who the quarterback is. I really have to go out there and catch every pass, do everything right. And I really just pride myself on doing things that don't take talent, making sure you have the right footwork, making sure you're catching the ball. And if I make sure I do those things, I think I'll be okay. I think I'll catch the ball, and I think I can make some, big plays for us and hopefully turn a couple of 5-yard passes into 50-yard gains. So it's really the goal, and I'm really excited to have Phillip Rivers on board and super excited to get to work with him very soon.
Yeah, for sure, man. It's definitely something we're all kind of looking forward to. Again, it's you don't really get to have the opportunity to play with, a potential Hall of Famer, every day. And this is a guy that is, and he came from your same school, I believe, right? NC State. So you guys probably talked about him all the time there in college.
Yeah, well, he's also a lot older than me. I was born in 1996,
Yeah.
and he was 2000 to 2003 or 4, I believe. So really different. And even just seeing him, I saw him once the year before I left. That he was there throwing. I caught a pass from him. Never thought that would be my quarterback in the NFL. Never even thought Jacoby Brissett would be a quarterback of mine again after playing with him at NC State.
That's
So
true. Yeah.
I guess playing with some NC State quarterbacks, I guess my luck's just been really good. I've had some really good draws of hands when it comes to quarterback.
Yeah, we're having building an NC State just team offense right here is what we kind of got going with the Colts, all NC State. So we'll have to look for that in the next draft class, which NC State guy comes to the Colts. But the other big addition that the Colts made on offense. I mean, obviously they drafted Michael Pittman, they signed Trey Burton, all that, but they did draft another running back in Jonathan Taylor. And we've heard a lot in the media and from Reich and Ballard talking about how him and Mack are gonna kind of have that 1-2 punch as in the running game and stuff, but have they kind of talked to you about, your role and how that kind of changes going forward with a guy like Jonathan Taylor? Are you going to kind of stay in that same type of role?
Yeah, I believe so. I mean, they really haven't talked to me much about my role. We're really installing the offense. I feel like I'll have opportunities, touch the ball, and even if there's games I may or may not touch the ball, just go out there and execute my job whenever it's called upon me. And every year, it doesn't matter what you did last year, you have to go out there and earn those reps. So I'm out there looking forward to getting to work with all those guys, and I'm gonna try to earn the carries and earn the catches and earn the plays that I can make. But you got to earn them first. So that's what I'm gonna go out there and do.
Awesome, man. Awesome. So getting to this film here, almost all these clips I have here are going to be from 2019, but this first clip here, it's a little grainy because I wanted to zoom in a little bit on what you're doing here, but this is actually from your rookie season. I believe it was from week 6 or no, I think it was week 4 against the Texans. And I think you know what play this is right here. This is where, you have the out and up against Tyrann Mathieu for the touchdown. I can play it right here, but you scored the receiving touchdown against Tyrann Mathieu, who is one of the best overall players, one of the best defenders, one of the best secondary guys in the league, has been since he's come in. And you able to make that big play your rookie season. So I want to know what's kind of going through your head on this play. Is it all just a football play? Do you realize it's Tyrann Mathieu at all, or what's kind of going through your head throughout this play here?
I mean, I saw that I had been in empty a couple times, so I knew him and I might have a battle. That wasn't the first time he covered me, and really, I think it just goes to Andrew. In practice actually that week, I was actually covered, and Andrew still threw like a ball. It was actually the same type of ball, and I actually didn't catch it because the outside guy actually didn't. He ran the wrong route, and there was 3 guys there, but I got my hands on it. So then we did, and Andrew threw it, and we practiced that exact throw in practice on Friday. So when it came to the game, and I turned around and saw the ball, it was already I was already ready to make the play because it's just ironic that that exact ball was thrown to me probably 2 or 3 times that week. So I think it was just really just the quarterback. I mean, I'm a 5'9" running back against a really good safety. So the fact that he threw the ball, just shout out to Andrew for just having trust in me. And then after that, you just let the athleticism take over.
Yeah, for sure. And you were a receiver going into NC State, I believe, right?
Yes.
So how did that process go about, transition to running back? I mean, did you have to kind of gain weight or change anything about your play style when you were transitioning to running back? How did that come about changing to running back?
I mean, I honestly knew I was going to move positions. They at NC State, they wanted me to have an impact early. So we had a lot of great running backs. So I really just had to wait my time, honestly. And the first 2 years, we had like Matt Days, Shadrack, Anthony Samuels, who's with the Steelers now, would come back and run the ball. So, I just wanted to get in where I fit in, and you got to wait your time. And I went out there, and I think it benefited me. We had a pro-style offense the first year, just running all sorts of routes. And I think when all those guys left, the time came for me to, make that move to running back and, try to carry the load. And that's really what it came down to. I feel like it was something that wasn't talked about, but we all knew I was going to move back after my sophomore year.
Awesome. And, one thing you just mentioned, when you first talked about this clip here is, practice. On Friday, you guys were throwing that ball, and that's kind of where that practice came in, and Andrew kind of trusted to throw that ball up to you. I talked to Marcus Johnson a couple weeks ago, and he kind of mentioned that a lot of what the Colts do or kind of rely on going into the weekends and going into the games is based on your guys' practices throughout the week, based on how hard guys practice, what's working in practice. And how big is that practice element with this Colts team here?
Huge for us. Built off of trust. If you're not going to play if they don't trust you. And we only have a certain amount of reps. I think we have like 45 reps, team reps.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, if that. I don't even think we have that many. So we only have like 120 plays in a week. So if one play doesn't work, we're not going to waste our time with it. We're only going to have 60, 70, maybe 80 plays in the game. So if there's something we're not getting the right look or it's not working, we're going to take it out because that's what we are. That's why we're a good team. Our team is built off of trust when it comes to players, the guy next to you, and even calling plays. We got to trust the play is going to work. So that's how our coaches are. And I like this so far. I mean, I don't think we've missed a bad play yet. I mean, there were a lot of plays that didn't work in practice, and in the game they didn't work. So I think our coach has been great with the trust factor.
Yeah, For sure, man, for sure. And then going to this next clip here, we're in 2019 now. Let me move this over here so we have more. But this was early in the year against the Falcons here, and this is kind of where the Colts used you a lot last year, was kind of that check down, just coming right out of the backfield, and then you're able to make something happen after the catch. When it comes to making a guy miss in the open field, though, how much of that would you say is kind of reactionary to like how much is, I guess, kind of planned out, or like, is anything kind of planned out when it comes to making a guy miss in the open field, or is it all just reactionary?
A little bit of both. You can set a guy up, but a lot of times the reactionary, like on this play right here, I actually set him up. I knew I might have a chance to go back inside, but I had to get him moving. And then honestly, for me, it's not really for me. I think it's a lot of instinctive. That's really what I've done my whole life, and that's what That's what I'm there for. Even catching the ball, like that's what I'm there to do. That's my role. So I take pride in that. When I'm in the open field, I try not to get tackled. I honestly don't know if I get tackled many times, but I'm just happy to be in that position. And it's one-on-one with the linebacker. I gotta make that guy miss every time. That's what I'm gonna try to do. And right there on that play, I did it.
Yeah, for sure. And that's something that you've been really good at since you came to this team is, they like to call you out of the backfield and maybe on just 2-yard routes. I mean, it's really not nothing really deep that they really throw you out there on, but they rely on you to be that reliable check down who can also make a guy miss in open field. Was that kind of something, when they drafted you and early on when they were talking to you, like that was like something that they kind of preached to you, like, this is something that you're gonna have to do as kind of our pass catching back?
Yeah, I won't say they really kind of talked to me about the role. I knew what kind of role I was doing when I first got there. They had me in the slot doing a lot of routes, and I remember I think the first time I dropped the ball at practice, my coach said, "Nyheim, you can't drop balls. That's what you're here for. Yeah, you might run the ball some, but you're here to catch balls. Like you're here to catch the passes. That's what you're supposed to do. You're here for 2 minutes. You're here to catch the ball." So my role was really carved in early. Like I know what I'm supposed to do. Like even now, I already know I can't drop no balls. That's what I'm here for. That's what I'm supposed to do. And everything with me is built off of that. Like if I got to catch the ball first, then I might get some runs, but that's my job. So and in the NFL, everybody has a different role and a different job, and it's really cool that I actually know my exact role and job, especially with a coach like Rathman. He's really straightforward. So I know
Yeah.
what I need.
Yeah, and that's someone I want to talk about here because I've talked to Jonathan Williams a lot the last couple of years. Him and I are pretty good friends, and we talked about Rathman quite a bit. Coach Rathman is, from everything I've heard, is a very straightforward, kind of a hard-ass, old-school coach. I know he kind of gets on you guys about a lot of things, but the one thing that I can definitely say that, something I've seen, I'm sure that something you guys have seen when you watch, though, is, each year you guys as a group and as individual players are getting better and better. And I kind of want to ask you, how much would you attribute that to kind of Rathman's coaching style and overall just his presence in the locker room?
I like to attribute it to him a lot. He's on us hard. He's on me like hard, like my dad. Like but it's love, and he always says don't take anything personal because he'll get on me. He doesn't really discriminate when it comes to who he's getting on. But one thing is, he's gonna get his point across, and you're gonna hear him. And if you don't hear him, he's gonna make you feel like mess up too many times. He'll take you out the game. You may or may not play. So I think when you have that kind of coach, that you got to make sure you're on your P's and Q's. You got to make sure you're detailed because even like when it comes to footwork, like on this play right here, he actually critiqued me on like my first step. So I think he's been a great coach because in the NFL everybody's good. You got to have detail, and I think with Rathman, he's on us so hard about everything. We know we got to be on our details, and I think that's what first of all really makes us better players. You got to have the detail.
Yeah, for sure. So I'm curious then, what was wrong about your first step here on this play?
Went back.
You went
You
back?
said pivot, and like it should be beside me, but I stepped back.
Okay, I see. So he was on you about that, even though you had like a 20-yard gain on this play?
Yeah. So if it's an inside zone, I step behind, I might trip. It just messes up. It might mess up my path. Thankfully, it was a play. It wasn't a run, but we're selling inside zone. So, like I said, he's gonna get on you about everything. Even punt returns I have for touchdowns. Like I had the ball in the wrong hand, he made sure he told me. But that's how you get a player. Like like my dad was like that my entire life too. Like I could do the best game of my college career. The first thing my dad told me was, "You could have had 60 more yards if you did that." So the tough coaching is something I respond well to. I like to think.
That's awesome. That's awesome. That's always a big part of football is, having the coach, not only having the great coaching, but having coaching that you respond well to. And, if tough coaching is what works for you, then that's always great. And then, but jumping to this next play here, it's another pass catch. I mean, something that, you just mentioned though, is that's always been your role with the Colts, be that pass catcher, be that guy out of the backfield here. When it comes to plays like this, though, like this play, they're overloading the blitz here. was this play like a design play to you with that blitz anticipated, or was that something that you and Jacoby kind of picked up on quickly, like, oh, they're blitzing, get the ball out to me quick here?
No, it's just, we had a concept. It's a great concept, a mesh concept that we would love to run. And I'm hot, so we have more than when the blitz comes. Like we always have a hot throw. Sometimes the quarterback makes it a hot. Sometimes the hot's built in. With this protection, it was built in. So
Okay.
when I saw those two guys, when I saw 49 come, I already knew that I was probably going to get the ball. So really, it was great job by Jacoby. Hanging in there, giving a good throw, and that is open field. So it doesn't matter how close the guy is. My job is to make a miss. So hopefully, I plan to keep doing that, and just hopefully turn that one and maybe a little bit longer. So that's really the next step. I made people miss, but I want to take it to the house some more and get more yardage.
Yeah, for sure. And, when it comes to being the hot read there, like say it's a hot read that he's kind of audibling to or kind of adjusting to, how often is that determined on like which guy's blitzing? Is it just based on like, the overall blitz is coming, or is the hot read kind of based off which defenders are blitzing?
It depends on the side. So it's like it depends on like if like on the front side or the back side who's coming. Like we're based on a certain protection. The protections to the right. If we have a protection to the right, obviously we're going to a slide to the right. So we can forward another guy to come. If it's off the weak side protection, there's probably only one guy because we don't have anybody else. So really, just you have to, as a running back and a pass catching back, like myself, you really, especially even if you have a free release, you have to pay attention to the protection if it's right or left and where you are.
Yeah. Do you guys sit in on kind of like maybe not sit in, but how aware do you guys have to be of like what the offensive line is doing as running backs, even in pass protection or, just in the running game in general? Like how much of that communication with that offensive line to kind of be aware what they're doing to kind of help you with what you're going to do?
Well, at least pass catching, I know I always pay attention because I need to know when I'm hot, and also too just seeing the defense and hearing the offensive line. They're calling a certain call for a reason. So the defense is going to tell a story, and the offense is going to paint the picture for you. So you really have to just figure out what's going on, and even now, just adjusting to the second and third year, like a lot of times on runs, you can kind of tell where the double team's going or who's pulling just based on front of the defense. It just goes with having, well, first of all, being blessed to have the same five guys the past 2 years and going on a third year. So we're getting really comfortable with each other. We're starting to understand the calls, and I'm starting to understand, and all of us are, like, even that's why the running game was better last year too, just understanding what everybody's job is to make us better.
Yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I want to ask about this clip here is, it's something that I've noticed a lot since your college days, since last year as well, but you love that spin move in the open field. It's something that you definitely go to a lot. When was that something you like worked on in college? Is it just something that's natural to you? Like where did the spin move kind of become part of your open field repertoire?
I don't know. I think I did a couple times in high school, and I spin some now, but I feel like I don't spin a lot. It's just kind of a blast. I don't know. When I spin, it's based on angles. So I can't really, when I'm going to spin, I don't know why I spin. I know this off season, I know I've done it some. So like even in some drills, I just do it now because I know I do it. But really, it's just an instinct, and so far it's worked out for me. I don't think I've been wrong on one yet, but that time's gonna come too where I spin at the wrong time. So just gonna keep working on it and try to get better.
Yeah, absolutely. And then going to this next play here, you mentioned that offensive line. This offensive line has been one of the best in football the last 2 years. I mean, you've had the benefit of running behind them these last 2 seasons. But just how good is this group in your opinion? Do you think they're one of the best in the league?
Absolutely. I mean, we're looking at the play right now. I don't think I got touched until like 15 yards down the field. That's not me. I really didn't even have to do much. It wasn't like I had to squeeze through much or do anything. And sometimes, as a running back, we're all great running backs, but it's also great where you just can that's a breather play for us. Like, because, we go through so much and running through the line of scrimmage, having to break tackles. It's great to have a breather play where you can just get the hand off and you just see a hole and hit the hole. And, we have a lot of having that great line. Like, you can just see those guys as double teams working. It's poetry in motion, I like to think.
Yeah, no, it's definitely one of the best groups in the league. And this is actually with the backup center, and I believe as well here too. So it's not even with Ryan Kelly out there, but I mean, they just make it easy for you guys out there for sure. It's something that's been pretty easy to see the last 2 seasons. And one other thing I want to ask you about your game, though, when it comes to running the ball is one thing I've really noticed, something that, people would think that with your speed, you would best be used maybe on the outside or maybe used on like sweeps and stuff like that. But personally, what I've seen is I think that you're really good inside the tackles, just attacking downhill with your speed, your acceleration, your burst, and you're able to get through those holes really quick. Do you feel more comfortable kind of going inside the tackles, going downhill, or going kind of outside, maybe on like, horizontal, I can't even think of the word right now, but yeah, like stretches. That's what I'm thinking. Stretch plays or anything like that. Where do you feel most comfortable kind of attacking as a running back?
Honestly, I mean, I guess I really do like downhill. And plus, too, I'm a smaller back, so I think a lot of people will just assume I'm going to run outside. So, I mean, I really do like running, like even that play. Just I know I can get through the hole quick. So, I mean, I like it. We have a great line, and really got to be ready. Just I don't know when I'm going to be in, and I don't know what run play is going to be called, but I work every run play. And I even sometimes I don't run the ball, and I get to watch Marlon or Jordan or Jonathan or whoever it is running the ball and just get to ask them. So honestly, the downhill back, I like running downhill. I get my head, even though the guys are bigger, I can get a head full of steam, and I'm a lot harder to tackle when I'm running full speed too. So I like it so far.
Yeah, man, 4-3 back coming right at you. This is definitely tough to tackle right head on right there. And yeah, I mean, like you mentioned there, you learn from a lot of really good backs, and you're watching a lot of guys out there. Marlon Mack is someone who has really grown a lot these last couple of years, and someone who's a little bit older than you. Or actually, I think he's around the same age as you. Actually, he came out pretty young.
But he played has a year of experience, so I mean,
Yeah.
he's older than.
Yeah, for sure. And then, Jordan Wilkins, another guy you came out with, who's a very different type of running back. And then same with Jonathan Williams, a very different type of running back than you. These guys are all kind of different styles from you. So what have you kind of learned from kind of watching them over the years? And have you taken anything kind of for your game from watching them and talking to them?
Really just the patience. I didn't really run gap scheme at all in college. We ran inside and outside zone. So just watching like Jordan or Marlon or Jonathan be patient. And that's the cool thing about the Colts is all the running backs are completely different. Every year, if you look at the roster,
Yeah.
every back brings something different to the team. Everybody does something a little bit or completely different. So I think really just learning the patience and like especially Marlon, like seeing Marlon work the double team and like maybe dance a little bit. Like I've watched Marlon sometimes dance for 5 yards and he didn't run hard at all. And it's just sometimes you just have to figure things out like that. And Marlon has a great grasp of, how runs should be ran and how to do it. So, we ask questions or we see it in film and I'll watch film on Marlon and Jordan and watch the reps in practice for the game. Even though I'm not in, you got to mentally put yourself in there.
Yeah. And I'm curious, is that something that Rathman has kind of preached a lot with you guys too? Is that patience and kind of reading blocks like that? I mean, obviously that's a big thing for running backs, but Marlon Mack, for instance, coming out of college, he had that patience, but I don't think it was at the level that it's at now. And even you to where you're at right now, from college to now, you can definitely see that patience has gotten so much better. Is that something that's really big from what Tom Rathman is teaching you guys?
Oh, absolutely. And then just Coach Rathman teaching us that. And then, look at the guys in front of us. Like,
Yeah.
it's like a golf club. Like, why are you going to swing it all hard when you got a nice club? Let the club do the work for you. That's really like a lot of plays like this. Like, there's nothing to do. Just let the line work for you, and there's going to be a hole open. You see the double teams disbanding and coming back together. So even our center, he literally went to the left, came back to the right to get his guy to make sure he secured his double team first. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, you can see him go and then come back and get his guy. Like, it's like I said, it's poetry in motion, and you learn that, and you just learn that when you got a great line like that, is why you have to be the IN team. There's a team for a reason, so.
Yeah, for sure. And then this last clip here, last couple clips, I couldn't just pick one. I mean, this is like a 50-second clip, but your huge game against the Panthers, I mean, this was just outstanding. They put you back there at the punt return. And I think the best part about this is, I'll play it here for people watching, but I think the best part about this is, we saw the struggles, before your rookie season as a punt returner. You had a couple, you had the one muff, I think in the preseason, you had one that bounced off you as well. And then I think also a fumble on the kick return. So to go from that to, 2 huge return touchdowns in 1 week, one that should have been, you almost had 3 in one game. How did it feel to kind of get that, I guess, kind of redemption there in week 16 last year?
It was great. I mean, first off, just blocking the noise out. Like my rookie year, even too, like I remember after the game, they asked me what changed, and I was like, not really anything changed. as a returner, you drop the ball, unfortunately. Like, that happens. Like,
Yeah.
every level I've been on, I've dropped a punt. Like, that's just how it happens. As sure-handed as you can be, every great punt returner drops one. Then, I had one bounce off me, which is really unfortunate. Then I fumbled one. So, really, yeah, there's a ball security. There's not really – like, the way I saw it, there's not really a ball security issue, honestly. So, really kept that in my head, even though everybody was telling me how I was having a hard time with ball security. It's not like I was going back there fumbling 5 times. Like, first of all, you know what I'm saying? Like, I was a ball carrier once. And then, honestly, like, the other 2 things happened because there's only one punt returner on the team. So, first of all, I had the opportunity to screw up twice, and nobody else on the field is doing it. So, it's – you know what I'm saying? Like, this is really how I thought.
Yeah.
So I already went back there. I had a great job. I remember my rookie year just having lost confidence because I could just hear the outside world so much. And then I internally that I'm okay. And I think just from that, it just shows. And then after the injury of Chester, going back there, getting a fair catch and then having like my first return being 20 plus yards, it was just, I felt like I was back in college again. And, I got you see all the great blocks and everybody's just happy for me. And, it's always great. And I think I really got we really have one of the best special teams units in the NFL. From top to bottom, we've been top 10 in covering kicks, great in return yardage. Like, it's when you got guys out there blocking, like, it's great when you just see guys who strain and they believe in me and I believe in them. They know they go out there and do their job. I'm not going to run out of bounds. I'm going to go out there and try to, make a play for them and get all the yards I can out of the return. So I think it's just a mutual love and respect between me as a returner and the other 10 guys. Because even you can see Jonathan sacrificing right there.
I'm going to send that to him later, him getting run over by that receiver or whatever it was on that play. But yeah, no, he got in the way there and he was able to kind of help you to get that return. But yeah, man, this was awesome. Just as a fan and someone who's kind of covered this team, just seeing that bounce back there. And personally, I think it's probably because you went from 42 to 21. 21 is just a much nicer number. So it probably just helped the confidence there.
I did not feel like I had any swag with 42. I'm not going to lie to you. But there was a reason behind why I picked 42 and 21 wasn't available. So I'm happy it happened. And I didn't even get to pick 21. They asked me if I wanted it. And after wearing 42 for 4 preseason games, I definitely, if they would have told me if I could get 99, I think I would have took 99 over 42.
Yeah, look, it's tough to be a rookie in any profession, but to be in the NFL, being a rookie, and not having that number swag of, having a 42 out there, it definitely helps to go to a 21. But, this was just, again, it was awesome to see this and seeing the success you had. And even though the win didn't really mean much in terms of the season, it definitely is great to have that confidence for the special teams, also that confidence for you. Is this something that the Colts will talk to you about, being like the primary punt return guy next year and kind of going forward?
Yeah, because we've talked about it. Bubba would like me to do it, and I'd like to honestly do both punt and kick return. I think I'm great at both of them, and really it's just not even really talking about it. Like I said, I got to earn it. Just because that game happened in Week 16 last year doesn't matter anymore. This is a new season. Nobody cares. I promise you, a lot of people in the NFL are showing this clip. So I'm probably gonna we're gonna get everybody's best shot.
Yeah.
Like even with New England and Tom Brady, when you're playing Tom Brady, you're getting everybody's best shot. So I have friends all over the NFL that said they've seen the clips and stuff, so I know everybody's watching. So now this, we're not taking anybody by surprise. We're not taking anybody by storm. But we as a unit are excited about that. We're looking forward to the challenge, and we're going to answer the call. So we're really excited to, have everybody talk about this, but we're going to go out there and try to do it again.
Yeah, absolutely, man. And, I'm a little bummed this happened in Week 16. You might have made the Pro Bowl as a punt returner if it happened a little bit earlier in the regular season.
Yeah, I saw all of that and all pro voting. It was sad, but got to earn it. Now I'm 16, so I don't have any excuses this year, so we'll try to earn it this year.
Yeah, for sure, man. And my last question when it comes to just the return game here is, this is something you've been great at when you were in college as well. But, being a running back and seeing the field as you do as a running back, how much does that kind of help as a punt returner, kind of having to navigate through that traffic and navigate through those blocks and kind of making those decisions quickly?
It's great. I think, honestly, I think personally, me, I'm very unique. Like Kamara, there's not many running backs that actually return punts, but every time you have one that can, they're always. I promise you, they're always great returners, and I think it's for a reason. Most of us, we're used to, being physical, playing between tackles, and then just seeing holes differently. Like a DB or a receiver, they may run the ball, but they don't run the ball like running backs do. So it's just great. Like every running back I can think of that did punt returns is probably been a great one. Even Kenjon Barner, Kamara, Like I think it's just something that, like, when a running back actually has the hands and the intangibles to do it, it's just something we're good at because we're just used to running through traffic and, just it's way different and then really it's just like it's being a ball player too. We're playmakers. A lot of running backs are playmakers, and it's really like a big middle screen, like right there running through the alley. It's like catching a ton of screens. So
Mhm.
I'm super excited to do it. I love punt return, and I'm just happy that I have some great guys out there blocking. You can just see the gunners out in my face. So that's great too as a returner when the gunners aren't in your face.
Yeah, absolutely. That's definitely a great group of guys you got there, and hopefully we see like one of these a game next year. Hopefully we're getting like 16 of these next season, and we can go for some records. But I want to say, what's up? What's that?
I want to say 16. If my goal is just to be better than the year before. If I can just do 3, that would be nice.
All right,
Or
hey,
one.
we'll take 3. We'll take 3. We'll take 3. I mean, you almost had 3 in this game, man. What would you do differently? Wait, 1 sec. I want to do this right here. What would you do differently, like right at this spot, if you could redo it over again?
Yeah, the whole controversial comment of me going left. No, like maybe I try left, but there's a guy right there now
Yeah.
looking who might trip me up anyway. But I mean, really going through the whole why I didn't go left, because I'm sure everybody wants his explanation because everybody told me I should have. When I went through the hole, I wasn't running through the alleyway straight anyway. I was already going left, so the punter was already cheating that way.
Hmm.
And I have never been tackled by a punter or kicker in my life, and I wanted to keep it that way. So I made sure I made him miss. And if somebody was going to tackle me, it wasn't going to be him. So really, my pride probably got in the way of me just trying to go left. But I was not going to the sideline with people telling me I was getting tackled by the punter or kicker. So that's really how it goes. And I mean, if we go back, if I would have went back and did it all over again, I still don't know if I would have went left, because it was an instinctive play. For whatever reason, I went left. I don't know why I didn't go left, but I didn't. So gotta live with that one.
Hey,
Wish I
man,
would.
you had like what, like 140 yards returning that game and 2 touchdowns. So what can people really say about that?
Yeah, I mean, after the game, my dad said I should have went left. So
What are dads for if they're not going to say that though? I mean, that's what dads are. That's what they do.
yep. Even in track, that time of the year, my dad would tell me how I could have ran 10 faster. But I think that's why I got to where I am. Honestly, can't ever
Yeah.
get complacent. There's always someone out there who's better or can get better. So.
Yeah, definitely, man. Well, definitely. Well, I want to say I appreciate you for joining me today. Just another quick question here is, this Colts offense returning pretty much every guy they've had the last 2 years, from the offensive line, all 5 guys, you, Marlon, TY, Doyle, like all you guys are coming back, along with adding guys like Michael Pittman, Jonathan Taylor, Trey Burton, Phillip Rivers. I mean, this could be a really good offense on paper, and also going into this next year. What can we kind of expect as fans and people covering the team from this offense going forward in this next season?
I can't even tell you guys what to expect. I know for sure on offense defense we do have a squad, and I'm excited to work with them. I think really just expect for us, just to play good, and hopefully we'll play great and just see some detail. But I know one thing: we're going to play together, and that's one thing that y'all can expect. There won't probably be a lot of fussing and fighting. I think we're going to play together, and that's what keeps us great. And every game's going to be different. All the guys that we have and all the great talent we have, there's probably going to be a game where it's going to be like 6-6 or 10-10, 0-3. But I know one thing is it doesn't matter the talent. We're gonna all play together. We all trust each other, and even just building a relationship with Phillip, I think that's what you can expect for us for sure.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, hey, I appreciate you taking the time today, and good luck with not only the season coming up, but also everything that's kind of going on right now. Just stay safe out there, man, and just good luck with everything.
Thank you. I really appreciate it, and thank you for having me on.
Yeah, of course. Let me end this real quick.